Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Emma. Today's video is actually going to be something new for my channel that I've never filmed before. I'm going to be filming a May TBR jar. If you've never watched one of these videos, basically what I've done is I've written some prompts for books and popped them in this jar, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick a prompt and I'm going to pick a book from my physical TBR based off of that prompt to read in the month of May. I'm going to go for 5 prompts. Just because I want to try be realistic. I might not read all 5, I might read more than 5, but I do want to try keep this realistic. I just wanted to film one of these videos because in April I became obsessed with watching other people's on YouTube, and they're one of my favourite current videos to watch. Like, now I'm getting all the May versions and I'm watching all the May versions as well, and I'm just really enjoying them. So I want to film one of my own because I do have quite a lot of physical books on my TBR that I already own and I want to get through, and most of the time I am a mood reader, but I thought this would be fun to like get me out of my comfort zone a little bit, like think about the books on my physical TBR. I have kind of organised them so the ones on the top, you can't see all of them, are ones that I think I will gravitate towards. The ones on the bottom are books that I do want to read obviously, but they are more like autumn winter in my mind. I just don't see myself gravitating towards these ones. I am going to stick to choosing books off my physical TBR. I do have one prompt that encourages me to read a book on my Kindle, which I will have to purchase a book for, utilise my Kindle as well as getting through my physical TBR. So I'm going to try something new for the channel, something that I really just want to film. I'm actually really excited to film this video. So if you do enjoy this video and do want to see more of them, I'd love if you give it a thumbs up, and also give me some recommendations for some prompts in the comments below. I've got about 22 prompts in here, I think. But yeah, without further ado, we're just gonna get on into the video. I'm really excited for this. So yeah, these are all my prompts in here, and we're just gonna pick one. Okay, a 99p Kindle book. Okay, this is the one prompt that like encourages me to buy a new book. But basically I'm going to pick a book that is on the current Kindle 99p deal, so that will be the ones for May. I have had a quick look, but I'm just going to have a little look and see if there's anything on there that is like really on my radar. There are a couple of books that I do want to read, but I'm not sure if they're on the 99p Kindle, so let me just have a look. Oh, okay, so already just from looking, and there's a couple of books I've already actually read, and there's actually a couple of books that are actually on my physical TBR. But we have Writers and Lovers by Lily King is apparently in the May deals. I really want to read that because I also really want to read Heart the Lover, and I believe they're like interconnected. So that is on my radar. Also it's saying The God of the Woods by Liz Moore is on 99p Kindle. The Bee Sting by Paul Murray, I've heard pretty good things about that. Oh, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I recently read Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I do have another one of her books on here that I want to read, so I could go for that one. Oh, okay, this is quite difficult actually. There's quite a few like books on here that I have heard good things about. When in Rome is on here by Sarah Adams. I've heard really good things about the When in Rome series. That could be a contender. I really thought I was going to go for Writers and Lovers, but I'm considering God of the Woods. You know what, I think actually I'm going to go for The God of the Woods, because that's been on my radar for a little while. I don't know much about it. I believe it is a 13-year-old daughter goes missing at summer camp. All 5 eyes fall on the Van Law family. They're cold rich people. They own the camp and it's happened to them before. 14 years ago the little boy vanished without trace. 2 children lost to the same wilderness. Is it a tragedy or a crime? Okay, I'm going to go for The God of the Woods. Okay, purchased. Can we see that? So the first book on my May TBR is going to be The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. So let's go back. Oh no, a book I think will make me cry. Okay, I'm thinking Broken Country might make me cry. The Women by Kristen Hanna. Kristen Hanna is a go-to for books that I think will make me cry. I think Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid could make me cry. I feel like I've seen people cry at her books before, and I've definitely cried at Taylor Jenkins Reid before. Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, I feel like that could make me cry. I've cried at every single Sally Rooney book I've ever read, and I believe this is about grief. I think The Great Believers is meant to be quite emotional, but oh, I think this could make me cry as well actually. Okay, looking at the list that I have, there's quite a few books that I think might make me cry, but I've picked out some contenders. I'm not going to go for all of them. We've got Talking at Night by Claire Daverley. I've had this on my TBR forever. As you can see, it's a hardback, a literary fiction, but it follows a relationship over the course of a number of years. So I feel like that will make me cry. We have Sally Rooney by Intermezzo. Again, this has been on my TBR for a really long time. I've got the hardback version. I believe this is about two brothers who are dealing with the passing of their father. And also I've cried at every Sally Rooney book. So I feel like that's got a good chance of making me cry. We have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've cried at her books before and I know people have cried at this, and that is about a woman who's training to be an astronaut. We have Watership Down by Richard Adams. This has kind of just been on my list. I don't think I've ever read this book, and I kind of want to read it. It's also kind of a book that I would like to read in spring, just like a classic book. And yeah, I mentioned to Alex that I want to read this and he said that I will probably cry and it will upset me, so there's that. And then we have The Women by Kristen Hanna. Kristen Hanna is the kind of woman who will make me cry. I sobbed my eyes out The Nightingale, and this is about women during the Vietnam War, so I feel like this definitely has potential to make me cry. And then we have Broken Country by Claire Leslie Cole. I don't know why I think this might make me cry, but I think it could. And it's about a woman who had a teenage love and has her current husband, I believe. And then there's also like a trial for murder. I do really want to read this, but I feel like I'm not convinced this is going to make me cry. I feel like it might, but I'm not certain. So I'm going to put that back. So we're going to pick out of these 5. You know what? I think I know what I'm leaning towards. I think I want to read Watership Down by Richard Adams. I don't know why. This has just been kind of like in the back of my mind of me wanting to read this, because I don't think I've ever read this. It's about rabbits. I'm not really entirely sure the full story, but I know it's about rabbits and I know it's sad. And I kind of want to put this on the list. So I think for a book that will make me cry, I'm going to go with Watership Down by Richard Adams, because I feel like if I don't read this in the spring, I'm not going to read this year. I think that's what we're going to do. But I definitely might come back to some of those books because some of those are definitely on my list. Okay, prompt number 3. A 5-star prediction read. Okay, I feel like we could do any of those books that I've just mentioned that will make me cry, because normally a book that will make me cry is a book that I'm going to rate really highly. Okay, what do we think? I'm leaning towards Claire Daverley's Talking at Night, because from what I've heard about this book, I think I'm going to love it. It sounds very up my alley. I've been putting off reading this book because I've got such high expectations. My only issue with that is I've never read anything by this author. I believe this is a debut, so I feel like that's kind of a risk. I don't know if I'm better off going for something that I've read by an author that I know I love. No, you know what? I want to go for this. I've been wanting to read this for ages, and I just feel like I think I'm going to love it. I don't know if making it a 5-star prediction read is just going to make it worse with my expectations, but I feel like it's just the book I'm gravitating towards most on the list. Okay, we're going to do it. That does mean I've got like 2 quite chunky books there. Okay, prompt number 4. I kind of keep forgetting I've done the first one. A book which is a genre I don't read a lot. Okay, so I feel like I'm not going to do a lit fic or a romance, because I feel like they're my top 2 at the moment. I feel like I could have gone with a thriller, but I've already got a thriller on this list, so I don't know if I want to do that. Oh, I could go for like a memoir maybe, like Crying in H Marked by Michelle Zorna, because I feel like this is written a bit like fiction, but it's about her experience of losing her mother. Do that. We also, in terms of like that, we also have Into the Wild by John Cracker, which is based on a real story. I bought this book literally years ago. I think I've owned this book for about 10 years, if not longer, because I watched the film and I really enjoyed the film, so I kind of wanted to read the book. So we could go with that. Oh, I could kind of twist the prompt a little bit and go for a classic. I probably read more classics than I do memoirs, but I still don't read a lot of classics, so maybe we could go for a classic. and this is on my spring TBR. So I would kind of like to get to this month. This is Persuasion by Jane Austen. I'm gonna go for this. To be honest, I probably read classics more than I read memoirs, but I would like to really read this in the month of May. And also it's a little bit shorter. I've already got 2 chunky books, so I feel like we're gonna go for a classic, which is Persuasion by Jane Austen. Which I believe is about a young woman who falls in love, but she doesn't accept his proposal because he's not wealthy. I'm actually having so much fun, I feel like I could pick 6. Let me pick this one. Okay. Oh, a book with an animal on the cover. I'm gonna have a look and see if anyone's got an animal on the cover. That's got an animal, that's got an animal, have you got an animal? Oh, you don't have an animal. That's got an animal. That's got an animal. I mean, Watership Down would have been a perfect choice for this. Animals, animals, animals. Does a dragon count as an animal? I suppose a dragon is an animal, but I'm not going to pick Iron Flynn anyway. Okay, so we have got these options. We've got The Wren by Anne Enright. She's got a little bird on the cover. Nell is a young woman with adventure on her mind. As she sets out into the world, she finds her family history hard to escape from her mother. Nell's leaving home owns a space in her heart where the turmoil of a lifetime begins to churn. Over them both falls the long shadow of Carmel's famous father, an Irish poet of beautiful words and brutal actions. It's a story of the love that can unite us and the individual acts that threaten this vital bond. Sounds very good. We have The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, which is about a group of retirees who start meeting up in a retirement village to investigate murders, and then find themselves in the middle of a murder. But this has got a little, is that a wolf or a fox on the front? I'm not sure. This has been on my list forever to read, so we could do that. Another book that's been on my list forever is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which has got a little cat on the cover, which is about people who visit a coffee shop and can go back in time to moments in the coffee shop, I believe. So we've got that. That's been on my list for a very long time. And then we also have Abby Jimenez, The Night We Met, which has a little dog on the cover. I read Say You'll Remember Me in March, April time. I think it was March actually. Maybe it was April, I can't remember. And this is The Internet Connected, and this is about Larissa, who is torn between 2 men, Chris and her boyfriend, who I don't know his name. And I believe that Chris is the boyfriend's best friend. Yeah, it's kind of like a forbidden love sort of thing. Honestly, I think out of all of these, and looking at the list that we've already got, I think I'm going to go for The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. This is also on my spring TBR, so I'd like to get round to reading this in spring. And I think also with the other selections, I think it would be nice to have like a nice, easy, cutesy romance in between all of this tragedy. So I think that will be quite nice. So yeah, I'm kind of tempted to pick a 6 prompt. Let's do a 6 prompt. I'm doing 6. Sue me. I know I said I was only going to do 5, but we're going to do 6. Okay. Oh, a couple have fallen out, but I'm going to do with the one in my hand. So, a book with a pretty cover. Ooh, okay. I feel like this is like subjective. What classes as a pretty cover?
April, come up.
No, sorry. Why don't you pick the books that you think have the nicest cover? You can't really see all the covers. And then I'll pick out of those, since you want to be involved.
I like...
Do you like Atmosphere?
James Baldwin, Giovanni's Room.
But how's that a pretty cover?
That's a penguin.
That's not necessarily a pretty cover.
Leaves.
Right, any other covers?
You know, that's it. All the other ones are lame.
Thanks, Alex. What are you doing?
I'm reading this one.
That's an ugly cover. Sorry, Mix Lau, or whatever his name is. Mick Henry.
Mix Lau.
Okay, there is a prompt where Alex gets to pick a book, and he wanted me to pick that, but I didn't. So he instead has picked the books that he thought has a pretty cover. So the ones he picked is Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. This actually would probably be a good choice for a 6th book because it's really tiny. David, a young American in 1950s Paris, is waiting for his fiancée to return from vacation, but when he meets Giovanni, a handsome Italian barman, the 2 men are drawn into an intense affair. That sounds good, and it's got pretty leaves on the cover, so we could go with that. He also liked the cover of Watching Women and Girls by Danielle Pender. This I believe is a collection of short stories. From lost friendships to infidelity and complex romances to motherhood and family dynamics, Watching Women and Girls is a sharp and moving exploration into the complexities of the female experience. There are 12 powerful short stories. I picked this up when I was in Edinburgh. I was in a bookshop that only sells female authors, and so this is a female author book. Also, I liked the idea that it was about women, written by women, and also I believe the author is from the Newcastle area, which is from where I'm from. I've never heard anything about this, but it's been on my radar. So that is another one, and that's like a cool arty cover. And then the last one he picked is Tom Lake by Anne Patchett, which is a story of her mother telling her 3 grown daughters about a youthful love that she had. And that looks like that, and it's like little daisies on the cover, so that is quite pretty. Honestly, I'm thinking this is more of a summertime book though for me, so I don't think I'm going to choose this. So it's between these two, which to be honest with you, considering I wasn't going to do 6, I feel like these are both good choices because like short stories I can read throughout the month, and then Giovanni's Room is quite a small book. I think I'm going to go for Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. This has been on my list to read for a while, and then for my book club I already owned one of the books, so I got to choose the substitute and I chose this, so I think I'm going to go for this one. And also I kind of want to do some reading outside, and I feel like this will be a good book outside because it's easy to carry with me and stuff, so I think I'm going to go for Giovanni's Room. And that is a pretty cover, it's got leaves on the cover. The cover is kind of giving me more autumnal vibes, but so just to give you a little run through. So, okay, so for my 99p Kindle book we chose The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. Really excited to read this. I think this is going to add something a little bit different to the list, a thriller. And yes, it's been on my radar, and then I heard Taylor Swift talk about it, which upped it up on my radar a little bit more, so that is going to be the first book that we chose. The second one we chose, was it the second? I can't remember, is a book that I predicted to be a 5-star read, and we went with Talking at Night by Claire Daverley. I'm really excited to get around to this. It's been on my list forever. If you've watched a lot of my like seasonal TBR videos, you would have seen me talk about this before because I've mentioned this a couple of times. I'm excited to get around to it this month. I am going to really prioritize this one out for 6 actually, because I really want to read this. For a book that I think is going to make me cry, we've gone for Watership Down by Richard Adams, because I'm really excited to read this actually. It's been on my radar for a very long time. It's obviously a very classic book, and I think it's going to be a good book for May. For a book from a genre that I don't typically read, I've gone for Persuasion by Jane Austen, which is obviously a classic. Really excited to read this. I've read Emma last May by Jane Austen, and I try to fit in a more classic literature book every season or so. So I'm really excited to read this, and again I think this will be a really nice book to be reading outside. For a book with an animal on the cover, I've gone with Abby Jimenez, The Night We Met. This is going to be my nice easy cheesy romance. I'm really into romance books at the moment, and I really loved Say You'll Remember Me by her that I read recently, so really excited to read this. And then the 6th and final prompt that I said I wasn't going to do, we got a book with a pretty cover, and we've gone with Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, which I'm really excited to read. Again, very excited to read that, and I think that'll be a nice like little shorter book that I can maybe read in one sitting. If we like go to the park one day, I can maybe read that in one day. I think that'll be quite fun. But yes, they are the 6 books that we have chosen. I didn't intend to choose 6, but we're going for 6. And I will keep you updated on which ones I get around to reading and what I think of them. I will link my Goodreads down below if you want to see what I'm reading in real time, but I'm really going to prioritise these 6 books for my main reading. But yeah, if you have read any of these books, I'd love if you could let me know what you think of them in the comments. Obviously spoiler free, because I don't want any of these spoiled for me. But yes, if you did enjoy this video, I'd love if you could give it a thumbs up, and just let me know if you would like me to continue filming these, because honestly I've had so much fun filming this that I would love to continue filming these every month if you'd like to see that. And also, again, like I said at the beginning, if you have any ideas or any prompts, let me know in the comments below and I can add to my little TBR jar. But yes, if you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you could subscribe, and I will see you all next week for a brand new video. Goodbye.